on Facebook?
They can watch it on Joel one of actually we're live right now. Miss Crystal, while we're going live, could you please text me and Mr. James Fortune where we all can watch this incredible interview today? All right. Well, how are you, Mr. James Fortune? What's going on, bro?
I feel extremely fortunate. I feel extremely blessed to be with you today. So thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this.
Well, I appreciate you having us. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, joel105.com. So we are live right now. So go ahead and like it and share it and tell everybody, just get on now because we're about to get right into it. So first, before I go through it, first I want to thank God for this opportunity. And second, I have got to congratulate you on your ASCAP 2020 Rhythm and Soul Award. Okay.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Come on now, won't he do it?
Yeah, it's a
blessing. How did that feel winning that award?
It's a blessing because it's the they honor the top songwriters for the year whose songs have had the most impact, on the charts and things like that across all genres. So to be celebrated, to win this award, because a lot of times you write songs and first it just comes out as a message for you. Maybe it's something to encourage yourself, but then to see how these messages bless so many other people through these songs and to have ASCAP for 2 songs this year that were winners, it's truly, truly humbling and a blessing.
That is so great. And I got another congratulations coming through. So you made it over 500,000 streams.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The first week?
The first week.
That's unheard of like nowadays.
You know what? The first week of this Dream Again live from Rock City, over 500,000 streams. It's just a true testament, really, sis, that when you really trust God, you can make it out of anything. He can carry you through any situation. And I know we're in a pandemic right now, so a lot of people are panicking. A lot of people are frustrated. I get all of that. I've dealt with all those same emotions. But at the end of the day, we have to remember that God is still in control. And to see 500,000 people streaming this new release without, while we're in a pandemic, so I haven't did any touring for it or traveling for this release. It's just been people just by word of mouth sharing it. Hey, you need to check this out. Hey, you need to check that out. And it's just been a joy. It's been a joy, no pun intended. Well, pun intended. It's been a joy to see how God's been working through this.
Ain't that something? God can work through a pandemic. God can work through anything.
Yeah.
So I thank God. I'm so grateful for that. Now, what inspired you to do it? First of all, I love the name of the album. I love it. Yeah. So what actually inspired? I know God inspired you. Was there some type of something you went through, or was it a pandemic? What?
Yeah.
How did you get some inspiration from this album?
Yeah, 6 years ago, I went through my own pandemic, basically.
Oh, my God, speak on it, bro.
Yeah, where I lost everything, and I made some decisions that cost me my dream. I was living my dream. I was so blessed, and I think for a lot of people, you go through setbacks, and after going through divorce and separation from my kids for a season, it was definitely the lowest place in my life. And so for me, I didn't think that I had a reason to dream anymore. Like I felt like my life was over. I felt like there was no bouncing back, and it wasn't even so much about the career. It was just life in general. It was like, man, when my dreams had turned into a nightmare, and so to be able to spend some years going through counseling, going through therapy, working on me, working on James. God was like, listen, it's not too late. You can dream again. You can live again. You can believe again. You can trust God again. And so with that, a good friend of mine, Ty Galbraith, who wrote this song as well with me, co-writer, man, the message I just felt was great for a song, but also for the title of this release, because I want to inspire everybody, no matter where you've been or what you've been through, that you can still dream again.
I am so glad you mentioned that because I just know a lot of us as Christians rely on God. We rely on the Bible, and God has so many people here to help us. And you mentioned counseling, and I think that is so humble of you to say that you seeked out counseling. If you don't mind me asking, why did you even do that? Because from my understanding, some Christians don't like counseling because they feel like, oh, well, God gonna work it out. We know that, but there are counselors out here to help us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people, I was one of those people that felt like, therapy and counseling was just for crazy people, or we just gotta pray through it, believe God. And I understand all of that. And I still believe that God does the work. But I think when you go to counseling, when you get therapy, it gives God more to work with.
Come on.
It's like, it says faith without works is dead. Yes, we can believe, we can change, but I know that mental health, the importance of mental health, that when you go and you get counseling, you get therapy. And I know in our community, it's kind of like a stigma, and there's
Right.
especially when it comes to men, black men, we really don't like doing that because
It's true.
it makes us look weak, or like we can't fix it, or we can't control it. And so, but for me to realize that I had a problem, and I didn't even realize exactly what the problem was, honestly.
Wow.
Counseling is more about self-awareness. It's about finding out more about who you are. And so for me to be able to become more aware, that's how I was able to do the necessary work on what it took for me to get from where I was to where I am today.
I am just so glad to hear that, and I'm just proud of your growth and all of that. That's beautiful to me. Now you have a song called "All I Want."
Yeah.
All I Want.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell me how y'all came up with that, because that song right there.
Yeah, you know what? I was writing it, and it was just, see, when you deal with enough disappointments, and you deal with the people and how they can be fickle and how they can be inconsistent, and then you really realize that the only constant in your life is God. He doesn't change. And so the song "All I Want Is Jesus," but there's a line that God gave to me that I wrote where it says, "Jesus, it's you who understands the language of my tears." Basically, there was times when you go through things and you're crying, you can't really articulate what you're feeling, how you're feeling, the words don't come out, but God understands the language of your tears. He understands the history connected to why you're crying, why you're in this season of trauma. A lot of times there's trauma that's on top of trauma that's on top of trauma that sometimes can break us down to a very low place. But God, even when you can't get the words out, he still understands what you're saying. He understands why you're crying. He understands what you're saying. And so with that, it's kind of like, that's kind of what birthed the song, that one line. And I just kind of built it around that and wrote the verses, but it was the chorus that came to me first. And then it's just been a song that's connected with so many people.
Wow, now that is wonderful. Now, I kind of stalked your IG a little bit, because I mean, you got great content.
Yeah.
And I almost shed a little tear when I saw your post on George Floyd. You said the post was basically saying, when I heard when he called out his mom's name, it tore my heart up. So, I mean, we're in this climate of police brutality. I would like your take on it, because you're Black and you're a man.
Yeah. Being born and raised Houston, Texas, and of course George Floyd spent most of his life in Houston, Texas. I know how important mamas are. I know how important my mama is, and so to see what he was going through was it just tore my heart apart. But when he called out for his mom, I just think it took it to another level. And there was a lot of anger and rage from me. I'm like, to realize that, and at that time, I didn't even realize his mom had been passed away. So for him to be calling out for her, it just showed the type of state of mind he was in. I mean, he was dying. I mean, his life was being snatched away from him, and he was innocent. So that just really struck a chord with me. And I think that's something I'll never unhear or unsee, as many of us won't ever. But yeah, that was hard to see. That was hard to hear. It was painful to watch.
I'm so glad you said that, because it's good to hear that from someone in your position, and then with you being a Black man. What change are you making? Any changes? Because even though we know you as the gospel great, do you feel threatened now, like when you maybe be riding in your car? Or, I mean, how has this climate changed you, or made some changes with your children?
Yeah, I think, see, even when it started with Trayvon Martin, being there and going there with his mom and encouraging her, seeing all that's taking place, it's just, I mean, having two Black sons myself, it's made me be very intentional about the conversations I have with them. And for them to have a clear understanding of, like, being Black in America is a crime in a lot of cases, to a lot of police officers and just to a lot of people in general, and just trying to help them understand how to handle certain situations. And some people may say, well, that's not fair, that's not right, but that's the reality of it. If he gets pulled over, or my sons have to deal with police officers, they have to know that even if you do everything the right way, it still cannot turn out in your favor. But just trying to help them understand how how to live in this society we have in now, where, like I say, being Black is a crime. It's changed me, and it's made me more intentional too about, even with my ministry, understanding because of the influence I have, how to use my platform. Yeah, a lot of things I may feel internally, but it's important to do certain posts. It's important to talk about topics like this on my platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram, and things like that. So it's definitely made me, it's raised an awareness that I kind of knew was there. But I just think it's heightened to another level now.
I agree. And I thank you so much for that. Eloquently put. I thank you so much for that. So with me being a songwriter, and I know so many other songwriters in this time, and you being one of the legendary songwriters here, what advice can you give upcoming songwriters and gospel artists? Because everyone is on social media now.
Yeah.
And, I'm hearing it's hard to get out there. So what advice can you give some songwriters and artists who want to just go out?
Yeah, and I get this question a lot, and I think for a lot of people, they have this gift, they have this talent, they realize that God has given to them, and they want to share it. They want to use it as an opportunity to uplift and inspire and encourage other people. But I think social media has given you that opportunity. Let me give you an example. There's so many songwriters, artists, singers I've discovered on social media. Most of the people, I would say 90% of the people I work with are people that I didn't do interviews or auditions. I just discovered them. Somebody tagged me on social media. So I think being intentional, people send me songs, they'll send stuff. So being intentional about reaching out to artists, reaching out to people who maybe, because I get a lot of calls about people who are looking for songs that sometimes I just don't have the time to write for them. But I could be like, hey, there's this person I met on Instagram. She's a phenomenal writer, or he's a phenomenal writer. And sometimes you can share and get people in the door that way. So I think, making sure that you're active on social media, it gives you a chance to be able to get for people that you normally wouldn't be able to get to.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Should artists, what is your opinion about this? Because I know a lot of artists are trying to get signed by major labels. Would you suggest they go the independent route or just keep grinding? What's your take on that? Independent versus, whatever.
I think it depends. Like there's some artists who, the labels has been a blessing to, who it's really sped up their notoriety. They've been able to get out there quick. But then there's some other people who just grind. I think everybody don't have the grind that it takes to do it independently. Some people want to do it independent because, okay, I cut the label out. But if you don't have that dog, that different type of hustle, that different type of mentality, then sometimes you need a label that can do that for you. So the label option could be a great decision. Of course, you got to have lawyers, look at contracts, things like that. But also, if you can do it independent, I think if you can, independent is the best way to go. But sometimes you don't have the money to fund it independently as well. So some people try the independent route, they run out of money, they're trying to, get to do this, do that. So the label, having a label, you don't have to do that. They pay for everything for you in most cases. So it just really depends on where you are financially, how you're able to get things done. And I think either way, it kind of depends on the individual, really.
I like how you mentioned they need to get a lawyer. I know a lot of people my age and younger, even I'm noticing some older, my older generation, people do not like to hire an attorney. And it does not matter what music genre you're in. You need an attorney. Can you explain the importance of that? Because a lot of people think if they get in gospel, I'm going to trust everybody.
Oh, no, no, you can't do that. The same way you can get messed over and secular, but man, gospel it can be no different. Just because we're singing about Jesus does not mean that the industry does not have people who are looking to take advantage of people's gifts and talents. So you have to get a lawyer. You have to get someone. And if you can't afford one, you got to just kind of wait and sit it out, because I would not sign anything with a label without having a lawyer look over it and at least give you some advice before you sign. Because you could be some things in that statements you don't even understand, like perpetuity. That's lifetime. Like some things they'd be like, wait a minute, I didn't know I was doing something for lifetime, but they'll put words in there where they won't say lifetime, but they'll say perpetuity, which means a life. So yeah, you got to have a lawyer. You have to.
Thank you so much for speaking on that. This generation needs to hear it. Now,
Yeah.
I know you got a lot of, maybe you don't want to expose too much, but I know you got a lot of stuff coming up. Let us know what you got coming up next, because I know you got a lot of stuff going on right now.
Honestly, sis, that's why I appreciate you for sharing your platform today. This Dream Again live from Rock City it's been amazing. I mean, to see how even in the pandemic, I haven't been able to travel. Of course, there's no concerts, but God is just still using this album as a way to bless people. So right now, what we're looking at is we're getting ready for the Stella Awards. That's going to be virtual. And so we're getting ready for that performance here really, really soon. It's going to be airing really, really soon. Next month sometime. They haven't given us the exact date yet. But the Stella Awards, I'm excited about that. And just really, man, praying and getting through this pandemic. My kids, they don't know if they're going back to school or online or what's happening. So just really just trying to get them through that. And as far as ministry, just using social media platforms like Joy 105 and people who are giving me the opportunity to kind of still use my gift to minister and just get the word out about what God is doing in my life.
Right, right. Okay, so when you talking about minister, are you saying that? So are you still pastoring, or?
No, I work at Rock City Church. I'm the creative pastor there under Pastor Mike Jr. He's got that incredible song, and it's going to be big. The song that's been blowing up all over the world. So I work with him in Birmingham. So I'm back and forth from Birmingham and Houston. So when I pastoring on that level, yeah, but not a senior pastor. No, I'm not looking to do that. My dad did it. My grandfather did it. But I like how God uses me. Nobody else in my family has ever done it this way. Like, I'm the first one to do gospel music and to be a gospel minister in music and stuff like that. So I love the space I'm in and having a label, being able to sign other artists, give other artists opportunity to live out their dreams as well. So that's kind of where I see myself in these next at least 5 to 10 years.
Sounds good. So are you looking for any new artists now, or are you just kind of on the low on it, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping my eye out, but it's really hard to do anything with new artists right at this very, very moment of the pandemic. It's something I'll be probably looking for more at the top of the year, 2021. But it's definitely something that's in my heart. That's why I started the label, and I'm just kind of keeping my eyes open, ears open, and just kind of my heart to see. Because I don't see, this thing with me is I don't want to just sign people, just to say they got to do. I got to believe, in them and their gift as well. And I think that's the honesty that labels and independent even labels need to share with artists. What level do you see them? Are you don't just sign me if you're not gonna really, work with me and get me to the level. Because I want people to be at the level I've been able to, number ones and been on every platform, traveling the world, different continents. So that's what I want to work with, the type of people. And if it's people, like I say, it's all about expectations. So somebody may not have those expectations, or they may say, hey, look, I just want to get this song out. Can you just help me with that? And there's things I can do for that as well.
Sounds great. Now, how can everyone stream this? I mean, give us all the platforms where we can stream this incredible album.
Yeah, Dream Again live from Rock City is available Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, Google Play, YouTube is even on YouTube. So everywhere that music is digitally downloaded or streamed, you can get it there. It's not a physical release. It's just digital. So you got to get it online. And I promise you, it'll bless you. And on Instagram and Twitter, I give a lot of updates. You can follow me at Mr. James Fortune. It's Mr. James Fortune. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
All right, then. And I noticed you mentioned about the video. So you guys shot the video?
Yeah,
on YouTube?
Yeah, the video. We had a video for that whole night. So we're releasing one song a week. So this week we just released "You Rescued Me." So if my YouTube channel is the same as Instagram and Twitter, it's youtube.com/Mr. James Fortune.
Sounds good to me. Well, guys, you heard it here at Mr. James Fortune. He is doing it, guys. Please make sure you go and stream this album. We have come to the end, and we got to let him go so he can go do some more promoting of this great album. And we thank you, Mr. James Fortune. I am honored. I'm thankful for this opportunity. Thank you so much for allowing us this time to interview you today.
No, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you, and I'm praying for God's best for you, and you continue to prosper, and He would enlarge your territory and bless you in everything that you put your hands to.
I received that in Jesus' name. Well, there you have it. This is Chynah Mari at Joe 105. ASCAP.com. Make sure you check out this incredible interview with Mr. James Fortune, the legend, as always. Check him out. Stream, guys. Get this album, okay? All
Thank
right,
you.
guys. Have a blessed day. Enjoy.